Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Club Tweed Heads for the 2023 Blind Bowlers World Championships. And, of course, this wonderful event could not be held if it wasn't for the sheer generosity of these wonderful sponsors. Nextra, absolutely wonderful sponsor, news agent company, and we're hoping to talk to one of their owners sometime in the next couple of days. They tell me she's not very well today, but we wish her all the best, and we hope to maybe catch hold of her tomorrow. And of course, Henselite, the choice of champions, Club Tweed and Niagara. Absolutely first-class equipment from Niagara. If you're feeling any pain or anything, give Niagara a call. They've got some wonderful equipment. And it's with great pleasure that I have back in commentary with him this morning, the president of the Australian Blind Bowlers Association, Mr. Greg Kennedy. Morning, Greg.
G'day, Brian.
How are you, mate?
Oh, it is a beautiful morning too, isn't it?
Absolutely, mate. Just for our overseas viewers, it's a very pleasant 30.4 degrees here this morning at just on 8:30. Well, that's Queensland time. And it's 60% humidity. So I just thought I'd put that in for the overseas viewers in the Northern Hemisphere. So, so we see what a great matchup we have here this morning, Greg. Two outstanding competitors, and should be one heck of a game, my friend.
Yeah, look, it'll be a ripper. We've got Abraham Crouse from South Africa.
Yep.
Up against Calvin Rodgers, who currently sits in the bronze medal position in third. He's from Australia. And, it'll be a ripping match. And just interesting that he's Calvin's sitting in third. But there's another match going on another green where is also B3 men's singles. And Kieran Wheeler from New Zealand is playing. He's in first position, and he's playing John Fox from Scotland, who is in second position. So the winner of that game, that match is actually will be for the gold medal.
Gold medal, Greg. Yes,
yeah.
No, this
would be fantastic, and whoever misses out on that match will finish possibly in third position, but depending on if Calvin gets over the line. So there's a lot on the line.
Oh, absolutely!
Here.
It really is. As we've said the last few days, a great bowl there. And we've been told that Abraham likes to be known as Abe, so we've been informed by him.
That's right.
So Abe, great bowl there by Abe. So Calvin is there. But anyone, if you've got a couple of spare hours, come down and see these people play, because it is absolutely amazing. And it's gee whiz, they're very talented sports people, I can assure you.
Yeah,
absolutely first class.
It's been great bowling, hasn't it?
Look
Brian,
at this
for the
bowl
last
here from
week.
Calvin, not far away at all. Gee whiz, just slopped through the head there, not too far away.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. Not a bad start for the first end, Greg.
No, it's after their half-hour roll-up. They sort of they probably should know the greens pretty well. This is I think it's day 9 today, isn't it?
Yep.
So they probably should know the greens by now. But the half-hour roll-up, I know they all appreciate that.
Yeah, but the half-hour roll-up for our viewers is only 2 ends, though, back and forwards now.
That's right.
Now, Duncan, you can get the results. All of the results are on Bowls Link. If you just tap into Bowls Link and the portal there, the Blind Bowlers Association, and the Blind Bowlers Association will have the
that's the Australian Blind Bowlers Association.
Yes, the Australian Blind Bowlers Association, and they'll have all of the results there for you to have a look at. So we can't go through them all here. We haven't got that amount of time. But I know that if you'd like to see that, we'll go through that shortly, David. We will. And Gary New says, go Calvin. Okay, just tell us who you're barracking for. It should be an absolutely superb days of bowls here today. I said it's, for the people that aren't aware, the B3 is 21 ends. Sorry, first 21, I should say, in the singles. I should say, and this afternoon we're going to have the B2 with the mixed pairs, and that's 14 ends, because it's actually a pairs game. So, g'day, Andy Thompson from Devon in the UK. Great to have you back on board, mate.
Andy, tell us what the temperature is there at the moment.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's not 31 degrees.
It's, just on, about to push to 31 very shortly. So the sun here, there's not There's hardly one. Well, there's one cloud in the sky. It's a beautiful morning here at Tweed Heads, and absolutely going to be a superb day of bowls here. I can assure you, the quality of play yesterday, I was absolutely in awe of. Absolutely sensational to see.
There was a long queue this morning, Brian, by the players and the directors, and I thought they must have been lining up for the cappuccino or the custard tarts at the deli, but no, they were all queuing up for the sunscreen, and
yes.
a long line of people there. So
another great bowl there from Abe. That was a beautiful bowl.
Yeah, it came in nicely.
It looks like they're measuring for 3 here by the looks of things.
Could be, yeah.
So, you know. Yep. Sharon, it says, go get them, Calvin and Jason. A mere 4 degrees. Good on you, Andy. Hey, good on you, mate. Always great to have you on board, Andy.
I'm heading over to the UK in August,
yes,
Andy, and I hope you can put on a bit warmer weather than fall.
So a good pick up there of 3 there to the South African combination. And of course, Jason is Calvin's director and Jennifer is Abe's director. And I take my hat off to the directors because they do an absolutely superb job. And the marker, of course, is Neville Jenkins from Tweed Heads, and also is a current member of the Queensland over 60 squad. So a very experienced campaigner, Neville. One thing I can tell all our viewers, he's one heck of a great guy too.
It helps, doesn't it, Brian?
Ah, it does, mate. With that experience, you know, Neville's been one of the best bowlers, and his partnership with over the years with some of the best players in Queensland, the amount of things that he's won, you know, but absolutely fantastic, mate, to have people like that give up their time and come down and mark. And this is where you must take your hat off to the Tweed Heads members. Greg, they've all been putting their hand up very willingly to be here to support the blind bowlers.
Well, even the volunteers that are jumping in the courtesy bus and coming down and picking us up every morning, and,
yep.
And then dropping us off. Even the players that haven't got an afternoon game, they take them back to the hotel at lunchtime, and then come and take everyone home after the day's event. They'll stick around for as long as we need them around.
Yeah.
And that they're the unsung heroes. You know, we sort of remember the people you can see, like the greenkeepers and the bar staff and the caterers and so forth. But we sort of forget about the little things like the people doing the buses, or the people upstairs that are opening the deli for us a bit earlier because we're here early. I just can't speak highly enough of this club. They've just been absolutely fantastic and so supportive of us. And half of the people here are vision impaired, and they all understand that when we head towards them, they get out of our way, and otherwise we'll just knock them out of the way.
Shoulder charge them, Greg.
And anyone that has a white cane, we'll whack them out of the way. So, no, they've been tremendous, this club.
No, it's been good, mate. But of course, one of Nigel's was renowned for in his playing day was his pairs partner, Nigel Smith, former president of Bowls Australia, and in my eyes, one of the best administrators in the game. Nigel, he was absolutely superb job, and unfortunately, Nigel passed away just recently. He was a member of this club of Tweed Heads, and also a former member of South Tweed Heads Bowls Club. So condolences, of course, to his family. Nigel, very, very sadly missed within the bowling fraternity, that's for sure. And unfortunately, they had a memorial day for him just recently, and I didn't know it was on. If I knew it was on, I would have been there for sure, because very sad occasion when you're losing great people like that. And great shot here of the delivery of these bowlers, and you can actually see the director, the way they line them up. She's just out of view at the moment. She's got her foot there because Abe's changing his hand, going to his backhand. So good delivery there too by Abe.
Came out of their hand nicely, didn't it?
It did. He just didn't take enough grasp with that one. But look at his weight control once again, though. Greg, it's absolutely spot on, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful. First end.
It's interesting with blind bowls. When the director stands in front of the bowler and points their toe, you can often tell the sort of grass that they're taking, or if they're too wide or too narrow, as to how close to the toe the bowl goes. So you can pick up very early, because generally the directors get it pretty right with where they put their toe. But if the bowl's a couple of inches away from the toe, or it's closer to the foot than the toe, that always influences where the bowl ends up, Brian. It's quite interesting.
Yes, no, that's for sure. It certainly is. Kelvin just cut his grass line there slightly and just knocked the bowl up there of Abe. So, and as far as the administration side of it, Greg, all going well in that department, my friend?
Always goes well in the admin department when I'm in charge, Brian.
I thought I'd give you a bit of an open shot on that one, mate.
I'm never backward in coming forward, Brian. You know that. I
do know that, mate. Well done, bud.
No, but no, look, and once again, on the admin side, almost took it.
Yeah, almost got the kitty there.
Yeah, but it's been a long process. Put back a couple of years because of COVID, of course.
Yes.
And so this has been approximately 6 or 7 years in the making.
Yes.
Because originally it was going to be 2021. But there's a great team behind this, as all events are. You've always got a good team behind a good event. So it's been tremendous.
No, absolutely, mate. And of course, as I said, it's not only well run, it's the camaraderie between the players. You can see when they're walking in the morning. It's, as you said previously, it's day 9 today, and there's some of them playing 16 games, and that yet they're still coming in with a big smile on their faces. They're saying hello to all of their competitors that they're playing against, and the camaraderie is just absolutely. It's worth the price just coming down and having a look.
You say that, Brian. However, last night was interesting. Just before dinner, everyone comes in and of course, blind bowlers never have to worry about having a drink or too many, because they don't have to drive anywhere. But one of the Australian blokes went to one of the Scottish blokes and said, "Look, must be your shout." And
that's dangerous.
And the Scottish bloke just went pale. He just went white in the face. And the Australian bloke said to him, "Well, what do you come on, it's your shout. We had that game the other day, and you said if you win, you'll get me a beer. So, and I beat you convincingly. And where's my beer?" And the guy said, "I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't me that played you." He said, "You must be blind." He said, "Because it wasn't me. I'm the director." But he also at the same time went pale because he thought he had to put his hand in his pocket and buy a drink.
Mate.
And the Australian bloke just said, "You blokes are unbelievable. You wouldn't shout if a shark bit you." But it was funny. They had a great laugh afterwards, and I think the Australian player finally tracked down the player, and he did put his hand in his pocket and bought his beer.
Drink. There you go. You should write that one down in the diary.
and I think it was actually Calvin who's playing out here now. But and I think Calvin said, "I need to get my phone out and video this. You putting your hand in your pocket and buying me a beer." But you're right. The camaraderie is just brilliant. Everyone's. It's interesting right at the beginning of the event. Everyone's a bit uptight and tense and nervous about the matches, and then all of a sudden they get to know each other because they're playing each other a lot. And by the end of the competition, which tomorrow's the last day, they're great buddies.
And the announcement last night for the venue for in 2026.
In 2026, and the next World Championships will be held in New Zealand.
Yep.
Which is absolutely fantastic. So the President Gordon and Secretary Kevin Gordon had to go home early, but the Secretary Kevin, he got up there on the microphone and I had to snatch it off him. He loves a chat, Kevin, doesn't he?
Had him on air yesterday morning.
Yeah.
Very good.
Did you
local
get a word
knowledge.
in? I
got one or two in, mate.
Did you?
It's,
No, he's
a great guy.
Great bloke.
And he does such a passion for para bowls and blind bowls, and it's really a credit to him. But very impressed to what he's saying about Bowls New Zealand over there, the way they're looking after the team and everything, though, too, Greg. You know
but that's all about relationship building and networking and so forth, and they do it well, the New Zealanders.
They certainly do.
The English are the same. They have a great relationship with Bowls England, and we're certainly building our relationship with Bowls Australia.
Which is great to hear.
Been tremendous.
Fantastic to hear, mate.
And the thing is with relationships with peak bodies is it's not always about money. A lot of people think it's just getting money out of but it's getting the support in different ways. And I think I mentioned the other day, Brian, about how great Jessica from Bowls Australia has been with setting up the Bowls Link app for us, and that took a week and a half of her time.
Yes.
And
good morning, Mary. No, that's ever so true. Now, we've been asked the question as we have every day, Greg, and while you're here, mate, I'd love you to answer it for them. What are the different categories? We've been asked that question by one of our viewers, and I said we'd go through it. So you might be able to explain to our viewers that are new onto the stream today the different categories of the participants.
Was Mary that asked the question?
No, it was David asked the question there before.
David, the different categories, there are 4 categories, ranging from the totally blind, who are B1s, going through to B2, B3 and B4. Now the B2s, they can see, they do have light perception, and they can probably see their feet, and probably, I don't know, up to half a metre or maybe a metre in front of them, and that would be about all. B3s can probably see halfway up the rink, and they may even just see the head, but it's awfully blurry, and they would not be able to make out the colour or the bowls that are up there, who's got shot and that sort of stuff. And then there are the B4s who are legally blind, and they can see the head, and they may be able to just make out the colours, but unlikely for a lot of them. And it's interesting, Brian. It's probably a good time to point out that we get a lot of inquiries from a lot of people from around Australia, where people will say that they're vision impaired.
Yes. And
a lot of people think that they have a vision impairment because they can't see out of one eye, or one eye is quite blurry and you can't see much out of it. And the other eye might be perfect, or it might be just a little bit blurry. That is not a vision impairment when it comes to not just bowls.
Classification.
But, classification for bowls or golf or any of the other blind sports. It's the testing is always done on your best eye.
Okay, but also to Greg, and for our viewers too, is that they were saying yesterday, talking to a lot of people, and Graham Ward was saying it on air too, is that you ought to be tested 6 months prior to this event.
Correct.
So everybody that's participating in this has been tested, and they've been classified as B1, B2, 3 or 4.
That's right.
So it's not a matter, and the one thing too that you have to think about too about this at all times too, Greg, is that as you've said previously, that people could start off as B4, but as their eyes deteriorate over a period of time, their classifications could get reclassified.
Well, that's exactly right. We've had a lot of people starting off as B4, and we welcome anyone into the sport that's got a vision impairment and who is already a bowler or who wants to take up the best sport in the world. We welcome everyone, and a lot of people will come in because their eyes aren't what they were. but within years, unfortunately, their eyes do deteriorate.
Right.
And as you say, Brian, we've had some that have lost their vision altogether, but they've been able to stay in this sport.
Yes, and that's wonderful. And there's good. That's the explanation, Dave, and thank you for that. He says thanks for that. And Vince, good to have you on board from in Sydney. Cunningham District, here we go. Here's a good one here from Cunningham District. Wonderful district just out towards the Ipswich region. It says, morning, Cunningham Hall of Fame, number 3 inductee is blind bowler Christine Henry. Her achievements are on our website. There you go. She's going to be inducted she's been inducted in the Hall of Fame for Cunningham District.
That is fantastic. Chris was the secretary for many years of Queensland Blind Bowls, and she's a lovely lady.
Yep. Robbie's and Andy's just saying here, I was registered as a blind, played short mat bowls, retired last year due to health. I'm reading that on Facebook. Very in the short mats. So, mate, just hope that your health is improving, Andy.
Here.
So it's a nice starter there by Abe, just a little bit wide, but Kelvin, not too far away with this one. And once again, too, must give a huge congratulations to Kyle McPherson and the Green staff here this morning. Another superb job here this morning. Absolutely fantastic the way the Greens are running.